Hello and welcome to this presentation. Let me start off by telling the story of two very talented individuals. The first one is an actor who has a tragic story but which holds an important lesson. His name has been omitted for the sake of his privacy. Part of the show The New Masquerade, according to the Vanguard newspaper of February 29, 2012, this famous man died of sickness and poverty. He was very talented and brought smiles to the faces of Nigerians for many years. The veteran actor, in an interview with the Nigerian tabloid Saturday Sun, lamented being poor, sick and blind. According to the interview, he could barely afford the bills for medication to keep him in good health. Let me quote what he said in the interview. He said, "I am almost begging for food, so I need money to pay my rent, but buy my medicines and maybe repair my car." Okay, the second person I'm going to talk about is also a very talented person by the name of Chinua Achebe. He's the author of the best-selling book Things Fall Apart. According to Forbes.com, the father of African literature authored the 1959 classic Things Fall Apart, which has been translated into over 50 languages and has sold over 10 million copies. This Nigerian prolific novelist, his net worth is reportedly put at $1.1 million, making him one of the richest African writers to have lived on earth. Chinua Achebe, the author of Things Fall Apart, got his income from leveraging royalties from the sale of his books. He was so successful that he refused copyright usage of the title of his book to the American Hip Hop Act, Curtis Jackson, also known as 50 Cent. So, don't end in regret. Reconsider the model of your business today. So what kind of income model do you currently operate? Do you operate a model similar to that of the first very innovative and talented actor? Or do you operate the second kind of income model operated by the late Chinua Achebe? According to Robert Kiyosaki, the author of the best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, he says your income can be grouped in 4 categories or 4 different quadrants. His cash flow quadrants looks like this. He says the 4 ways to produce income are either you're an employee, or you're self-employed, or a business owner, or an investor. Now, if you look carefully at this chart, or this diagram rather, you can divide it into 2 different parts. You have the left side, which is the employee and the self-employed, and then you have the right side, which is the business owner and the investor. According to Robert Kiyosaki, those who are on the left side are said to have linear income, and those who are on the right side are said to have leveraged or residual income. So I'm going to talk a little bit about these different models. You have the employee. An employee is a person who has a job but does not leverage. Someone else is leveraging on that employee. So if you're an employee, somebody's leveraging on you. Now look at these 3 very common facts about employees. First of all, an employee is not in control. Somebody else is pulling the strings. An employee does all the work and somebody else takes the bulk or all of the money. And then for an employee, if you are not in control of your time, you are not in control of your results. An employee does not control his time. Somebody tells him when to wake up, somebody tells him when to go to work, somebody tells him when to come back from work. That is the life of an employee. Okay? Now, if you're self-employed, you own a job. but you still do not leverage. A self-employed person works very hard, but oftentimes produces very little results, like this man over here trying to pour water into baskets. In the same vein, when a self-employed person does not go to work, that means his money stops coming in. Your business does not work when you don't work. And lastly, for a self-employed person, your time is equal to money. If you're sick or you do not go to work or you have to go on vacation, the moment you shut your doors, your business also shuts. Okay. Now, those were the two people on the left side of our quadrant. But if we look at the right side, which had the business owner and the investor, look at the typical life of a business owner. A business owner is a person who owns a system and leverages people to work for you. So assuming that the business owner is this person over here, the CEO, a business owner has a head of admin, a head of HR, a head of projects, and depending on what kind of business he does, he has different kinds of departmental heads or directors or vice presidents or etc etc etc. Now these different departmental heads have other people who work with them or who work for them. For instance, you have the admin assistant, finance officer, HR officer, engineer 1, engineer 2, who in turn have other people who work for them and who work with them. You have a procurement officer, an auditor, a legal officer, a program officer, architect, and the list goes on until you have your site workers, interns, program clerks, legal assistants, accountants, and other interns over here. So this is the life of a business owner. He's leveraging the help of all these people, okay, to run his business, right? And all of them get rewarded for being a part of his business. Alright, so that's the first on our right side of the quadrant. So for a business owner, you leverage people. Your income does not depend on your personal active work. People work with you and for you, and you leverage their efforts to make wealth. Now you have the investor. Apart from business owners on the right side, investors are people who own large amounts of monies and make this money to work for them. These are those who have so much money that, like the business owner, they make the money work to produce more money for them. You have the likes of this man over here, Aliko Dangote, and the rest of these quite influential and very, very wealthy people. So an investor does not depend on his own personal active work. It is his money that works for him. And an investor leverages other people's efforts to make wealth. So take a look at this graph over here. It looks a little bit complicated, but it is very, very simple, and I'm going to explain how it works. This is a graph showing you your typical income as a linear form of income or as a residual form of income. You have over here your income starting from 0 and climbing up. So let's say this is $0 and it goes up to $1 trillion, you know, whatever this is. And then you have your work, your time and your effort invested. It starts from 0 and, you know, over time until you retire at this point. Okay, so let's start with the red line first. The red line is your linear income. That is for the employees and the self-employed. Now over time, as you work, your money climbs up gradually, slowly, until this point when you retire. Then your money stops working for you, or rather your money stops coming at all. Your income stops entirely, and for most people on the left side of the quadrant, they end up in panic, or they end up living a lifestyle that they cannot sustain because their income has completely stopped or has reduced to a very, very minute amount. Now on the other hand, looking at this yellow line, this is your residual income, or some people call it passive income. Okay, so over here you start with maybe 2 people in your team. You have, you know, two people in your organization, and over time, as your business makes profit, you add more people and more people and more people and more people until the time you retire. Now look over here. The graph exponentially rises far above that of the income of the employee. Okay, now at this point, when the person with residual income stops working or retires, his income continues because he doesn't have to be at work for his business to work. He has people who are working for him and who are working with him. So his income continues and he enjoys freedom at the end. Okay, so that's basically the biggest difference between linear and residual income. With residual income, you start with a small team and over time grow that team. Eventually, the team grows itself. These people end their lives with multiple sources of income, a very good retirement plan, and an inheritance for their children. So what exactly should your plan B look like to move from having a linear income to residual income? Well, here are some qualities of an ideal business you should adopt as your plan B. You should have many people in your team. You don't have to be around for it to work. It should work even when you're sleeping. You should be able to hand it over. And your retirement must not equal to a drop in your revenues. It should be a business you own and no one can fire you. So let me explain how this should work for you. If one person in your team produces a value of 100,000 naira in a month, then imagine having a team of 100 people, each of them giving you a value of 100,000 naira. That gives you a total value of 10 million naira every month. That is why this person over here, who is the CEO, can afford not to come to work, because he has people who are working with him and working for him, giving him value of 100,000 naira every month. So here's the solution I'm proposing to you to become a business owner. What if I told you there is an industry to take you from the left side of the quadrant to the right side of the quadrant? I introduce you to a business that has existed for more than 100 years. Work with a timeless business. The business lasts as long as you are willing to do it. You can transfer it to your children and even leave it as an inheritance. Work with a limitless business. The business can grow as high as you want it to. There is no limit to your growth. You can be as big as you desire. Work with a business that you can work with from home and in your spare time. The business allows you to maintain your existing job and work in your spare time. It is truly the ideal plan B. The business I'm talking about leverages the entertainment industry, the likes of these superstars you can see on your screen. The industry I'm talking about makes over $50 billion a year from major distribution companies like Spotify, iTunes, Warner Brothers, Studio Universal, and so many others. In 2019, Spotify made 6.76 billion euros, iTunes 8.5, Warner Brothers $33.5 billion, Studio Universal $20.15 billion. So I'm introducing you to an industry where you can own your own business. No one can fire you. So what company am I talking about that does this for you? I am introducing you to 9MB. 9MB is registered brand of Eminent SAB Solutions, a wholly registered company under the Corporate Affairs Commission and has been in existence since 2008. Its corporate headquarters is in Abuja, Nigeria. 9MB is a multi-online platform that has signed on many artists and more artists joining every day. The platform allows users to purchase these releases from the artists and download them. 9MB has an affiliate system that gives you the opportunity to become a large business owner in the entertainment industry. So how does it work? 9MB says leverage your social capital. Your social capital are the people you know, you have acquaintances with, your friends, your families, the people on your contact list basically. The company says become an affiliate and don't just share your music with your friends. Become a distributor for the artist. 9MB says don't share your music for free, sell it with an SMS code that they provide. So let me quickly show you how the referral system for 9MB works. 9MB says that if you refer 4 people, for instance, in January, okay, and then that's all you do for the rest of the year. You just refer those 4 people. If those 4 people refer 4 people each, your team has 16 people. Okay, if those 16 people refer 4 people each, your team now has what? 64 people. Now let's jump down to August. You only referred 4 people, but by July, August, you now have 65,000 people in your team. By December, you have 16.77 million people in your team. Okay, so now let's look at what your team looks like in just 3 generations that you referred only 2 people to. Does this chart, does this diagram look familiar to you? Yes, it does. It looks like the organizational structure of a business owner, where, remember, we said he had a head of HR, a head of admin, etc. Okay, so basically what we're telling you is 9MB says operate a referral system that gives you your own organization. So this is the formula. I'm recommending that you buy songs worth 1,500 naira, okay, in a month, and you introduce 10 of your friends to do the exact same thing. If these 10 friends reproduce themselves introducing 10 of their friends, then here is what your commission will look like. On your first set of 10 friends buying music, 9MB gives you just 1,050 naira. Okay, your commission on your first generation is very small, but by your second generation, 9MB bumps it up and you make 22.5 thousand naira. Okay, by your third generation, 9MB gives you even more commissions on your referrals, and then 150, making a total of 173,000 naira in the month. Now here's where the news is good. You have built your team up to third generation, and 9MB promises that if you remain in good standing, it will always give you commissions from whatever your other generations bought. To be in good standing means that you do a minimum of 1,500 naira worth of music every month. Now let's bump it up a little bit. If you and your team decide that no, we're not doing 1,500, we're doing 7,500 naira worth of music a month, then this is what your commission changes to: 867,000 naira for the month. Now if you decide to take it up a notch, say we're doing 15,000 naira worth of music, I and my team, commission will be 1.35 million naira in the month. And if you and your team remain standing, then you get the kind of commissions a month. So I'd like you to take note, this is not a pyramid scheme. A pyramid scheme is people simply gaining from their downlines with no product to back it up. The operative word here is no product. Pyramid schemes are illegal. However, when you refer another affiliate to join 9MB, you get commission on whatever they buy. No gimmicks, no tricks. This is a true social enterprise. Apart from the affiliate commissions, you also make money from selling the artist's song using a special code. Let me quickly explain what this means. If you buy a song from 9MB, 9MB will send you a special code for that song. That code is unique to you. Say for instance the code is 535. If you post this code on your social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or whatever else there is out there, or you put it on a magazine or in a newspaper, if people send 535 to 9MB to buy that song, 9MB will deduct the cost of the song from those people's phones. and credit your account as the affiliate that sold that song, which invariably makes you a music distributor. Okay? So apart from making money from referring affiliates, you can also make money from selling songs if you so desire. So what does it take to be in big business? It takes a minimum requirement of 1,500 naira every month in song purchases. That is all. And 9MB promises to always pay you your commissions. Now, apart from commissions, 9MB operates a reward scheme. Now, here's how it works. If you're able to sell 100,000 copies of a song, okay, consecutively for 3 months, 9MB says that is a gold record you have achieved. 9MB will give you 450,000 naira for selling those songs. If you're able to do 1 million copies of a song, it's called a platinum record. 9MB will give you 2.25 million naira. Now, if you and your team, like the other targets, are able to do 10 million naira worth, rather 10 million copies of a song in a month consecutively for 3 months, 9MB will give you 13.5 million naira for achieving platinum, for achieving diamond. Apart from those reward schemes, 9MB also has incentives for you. If you are able to get 20 new affiliates to join your organization in your first generation, in 1 month, you get 1% extra on your third generation. Now, you need to know that the bulk of your commissions comes from your third generation. 9MB gives you a massive amount of percentage on your third generation. So adding 1% to your third generation is a lot of money. But it even gets better. 9MB says if you're able to add 50 new affiliates in your second generation within a month, they will give you 2% extra on your third generation. And if you're able to add 100 new affiliates in your third generation within a month, you get 3% extra on your third generation, which is where the bulk of the money is. A 3% increase is a lot. Now, remember that this 100 new affiliates doesn't have to be your own personal contribution. You already called in your 10 people. Now, if those 10 are able to achieve this 100 for you without your effort, you get this commission. So what next after signing up? We will give you a growth class and a step-by-step guidance to starting your own 9MB affiliate business. Our responsibility is to make sure that you grow and you succeed in this business. So after this presentation, your sponsor will coach you alongside with our community to help you gain speed and start profiting immediately. So what are your responsibilities? Simply remain in good standing by purchasing music every month worth at least 1,500 naira and recruit your team. So sign up now. Do not postpone till tomorrow what you can do today. Follow this link, fill in your details and start immediately. The link is http://9mb.easygatewayng.com/affiliates. So if you have any questions after this presentation, please contact your sponsor and he will put you through any issues that you might have. I leave you with this saying: if you've failed, that means you are doing something. If you're doing something, that means you have a chance. A quote from Robert Kiyosaki. Thank you for listening and have a great day. Now let me show you how 9MB's referral system works for you. 9MB says do not simply share your music, but ask people to buy from you. Now imagine you refer 4 people in a month to buy songs from you through 9MB. If those 4 refer another 4 each, this is how your team would look like in a year. You started with only 4 people in January. By June, you will have 4,096 people. And by December, you will have 16.77 million people in your team. Okay? Now, in 3 months, this is what your team would look like. You, the CEO of your business, and you have heads of departments, and you have other people who are working with you to build your company. Now, does this remind you of anything? Yes. This is exactly what the business owner's income pattern looks like. Over here you have your head of HR, your head of admin, and it goes on and on. You understand what I'm talking about. So how does it work for you? This is the formula that I'm proposing. Now, I'm recommending that you buy songs from 9MB worth 1,500 naira, okay, and introduce 10 of your friends to do the same. If these 10 friends reproduce themselves and get 10 each, then here's what your commission will look like. You introduce 10 friends and get 1,050 naira only. That's little, right? Okay. By the time your 10 friends introduce their 10 friends, you get 22,500 naira. And by your third generation of those 10 friends introducing their 10 friends, you get 150,000 naira. Your total commission will be 173,550 naira in the month. Now here's the good news. 1,500 naira is an amount that practically everybody can afford. And here's the second good news. You building your team to this level is something that this money is what you will be getting every month minimum. Okay? Now let me give you a different scenario. Imagine you and your team decide that you're not doing 1,500, you're doing 7,500 naira worth of music every month. Here is what your commission would look like. 867,750 naira. I think you'd agree with me that for investing 7,500 naira worth of music, 867,000 naira is not a bad deal. And again, you make this kind of money every month. Alright, let me try to blow your mind a little bit. Now imagine you and your team decide that you're all going to be doing 15,000 naira worth of music every month. Then this is what your commission would look like. 1.735 million naira. Okay? If you and your team remain in good standing, then you get commissions like this every month. To be in good standing means you do a minimum of 1,500 naira worth of music every month. So let me quickly say something, that this is not a pyramid scheme. A pyramid scheme is simply people gaining from their downlines with no product to back it up. And the operative word here is product. Pyramid schemes are illegal. When you refer another affiliate to join 9MB, you get a commission on whatever they buy. No gimmicks, no tricks. This is a true social enterprise. Apart from affiliate commissions, you also make money from selling the artist's song using a special code. Let me quickly explain how this works. When you purchase, for instance, 1,500 naira worth of music, that will probably give you like let's say 10 songs, okay? 9MB will send you a special code unique to only you for each of those songs. So let's say the song number 1 you bought was I Love My Country, okay, by artists 9MB. So when you've purchased that song, you receive a code like 535 for the song I Love My Country. You see, that 535 code, you can post it on your Facebook page, on your Instagram page, on your Twitter account. You can even have a website blog, okay, that you can place that code on, and whenever people you advertise that code to dial that code as an SMS message on their phones, 9MB will deduct the cost of that song from their phones and credit your account as the person who sold that song. So you get commissions for that too. So isn't that just great? Not only do you make money from being an affiliate and referring other affiliates to join, You also make money from selling individual songs if you so desire. But I personally say that I'm not interested in simply selling the songs. The bulk of the money for me is in creating other affiliates joining me. So what does it take to be in big business? Like I said earlier, you just need a minimum requirement to be in good standing, which is 1,500 naira worth of songs every month. If you maintain 1,500 naira worth of songs, you will always get commissions. Now, apart from your affiliate system and selling through SMS codes, 9MB also gives rewards. Okay, so let me just quickly tell you what the rewards are. If you're able to sell a particular song, you and your team are able to do 100,000 of 100,000 copies of a particular song. It's called a gold record. If you do 1 million copies, it's called a platinum record, and if you do 10 million copies, it's called a diamond record. Now, that 9MB says you should be able to consecutively do this for 3 months, and they will give you an additional, on top of how much you earn, they will give you 450,000 naira for 100,000, 2.25 million naira for 1 million, and 13.5 million naira for 10 million copies. I think that's fantastic. And apart from those rewards, they also give incentives if you meet other targets. Now, these targets are if you and your team are able to grow by 20 new affiliates in your first generation within a month, you get 1% extra on your third generation. Now, let me quickly say, your third generation is what generates the highest amount of income for you. Okay? So adding another 1% to your third generation is a lot of money. But it gets better. If you and your team grow by 50 new affiliates in your second generation within a month, 9MB adds an additional 2% on your third generation income. And finally, if you and your team grow by 100 affiliates in your third generation within a month, you get 3% extra on your third generation. That is a fantastic deal. So what next after signing up? We will give you a growth class and a step-by-step guidance to starting your own 9MB affiliate business. After this presentation, your sponsor will coach you, and alongside our community, we will give you help so that you can gain speed and start profiting from your business immediately. So what are your responsibilities? Simple. Remain in good standing and recruit your own team. So sign up now. Do not postpone till tomorrow what you can do today. Follow this link, fill in your details, and start right now. The link is www.9nb.easygatewayng.com/affiliates. So if you have any questions, please leave them as a comment or send them privately to me, and I'll be glad to answer your questions. You can also send your questions to your sponsor or whoever invited you for the presentation. Now I'm going to leave you with this quote from Robert Kiyosaki. He says, "If you have ever failed, that means you are doing